Labour MP Dan Carden has thrown down the gauntlet, demanding a national inquiry into grooming gangs, a move that has put him at odds with none other than his own leader, Keir Starmer. What's going on here? Why is Starmer, who once championed justice for victims, now seemingly blocking inquiries into these heinous crimes? The fallout from this situation runs deep, revealing a growing rift within the party and a significant crisis of confidence in Starmer's leadership. Starmer's recent actions are nothing short of shocking. It seems he's trying to sweep serious allegations under the rug, creating the impression that he's more interested in political optics than in justice. This is a far cry from the strong rhetoric he once employed when he was the Director of Public Prosecutions. Back then, he spoke passionately about the need to address the insidious nature of grooming and sexual exploitation. Fast forward to today, and it feels as if he's doing a complete 180, actively obstructing investigations into the very issues he once vowed to tackle. The reality is stark. Starmer is losing the trust of not only the public but also his fellow party members. Carden, a prominent figure in the Labour Party, is publicly calling for an inquiry into grooming gangs, something Starmer is reluctant to support. Carden's insistence that the party should lead the charge for a Rotherham-style inquiry reveals a deep dissatisfaction with Starmer's approach. This internal dissent is a clear indicator that Starmer is not just facing challenges from the opposition, he's also battling discontent within his ranks. Why has Starmer made such a drastic shift? Some speculate that it's a political maneuver aimed at appeasing certain voter demographics, while others believe he's attempting to distance himself from his past commitments. Regardless of the reasoning, this betrayal of trust is monumental. Once seen as a potential champion for victims, Starmer now risks being cast as the villain in this narrative. His failure to address the grooming gang crisis not only undermines his credibility but also poses a direct threat to the lives of vulnerable individuals. The situation highlights a troubling trend in Starmer's leadership, the rise of the two-tier Kiev phenomenon. This nickname is gaining traction among critics who argue that Starmer applies one set of rules for himself and his allies while imposing another on the general populace. His inconsistent handling of the grooming gang investigations exemplifies this troubling double standard. When it comes to crime, Starmer's commitment appears to waver, leading many to question whether he's truly serious about holding criminals accountable. Prominent figures, including Elon Musk, have taken notice, with Musk accusing Starmer of complicity in what he terms the rape of Britain during his tenure as DPP. Such accusations are damaging and resonate with the public, further eroding Starmer's standing. Critics argue that Starmer's focus on political correctness is hampering law enforcement efforts, creating a climate where police feel constrained in their ability to investigate crimes. The implications of Starmer's inaction are severe. Victims of grooming gangs are being denied justice, while the public's faith in the justice system continues to erode. Political analysts warn that this failure to act could lead to a broader loss of trust in the Labour Party and its ability to govern effectively. The silence from the leadership on critical issues like grooming gangs not only undermines their credibility but also raises questions about their commitment to protecting the vulnerable. As if this weren't enough, Starmer's economic policies are coming under fire as well. Labour's recent tax hikes are squeezing businesses and everyday citizens alike, with many fearing job losses and stagnant wages. The party's approach to taxation appears to be counterproductive, as industry leaders warn that these hikes will stifle growth and investment. Starmer's inability to present a coherent economic strategy is leaving both his party and the public in a state of disarray. Even within the party, there's a palpable sense of disillusionment. Labour MPs are openly questioning Starmer's leadership, with some suggesting he selected the wrong people for key positions. This internal strife is damaging and could have long-lasting repercussions for the party's future. If Starmer cannot unite his team and provide clear direction, he risks losing the confidence of voters who are already skeptical of his leadership. The stark reality is that Starmer is at a crossroads. He must either find a way to reconnect with the working class and regain their trust or risk being swept aside by a tide of discontent. The very fabric of the Labour Party is under threat, as its once solid support in traditional areas begins to crumble. Starmer's failure to address the concerns of everyday citizens is not just an oversight, it's a potential fatal flaw. In the international arena, Starmer's leadership is drawing scrutiny as well. Critics from abroad, including heads of state, are expressing concerns over the implications of his governance on Britain's global standing. With accusations of political interference from foreign billionaires like Elon Musk, the reputation of the UK is at stake. Starmer's inability to manage the fallout from his decisions not only affects domestic politics but also Britain's relationships on the world stage. As the dust settles, it's clear that Starmer's leadership is facing unprecedented challenges. From internal dissent within his party to growing public disillusionment and international scrutiny, he must act decisively to restore confidence and credibility. The stakes have never been higher, and the question remains, can Starmer rise to the occasion, or will he continue to falter in the face of adversity? The future of the Labour Party, and indeed, the nation, may depend on the choices he makes in the coming days.